Money on my mind, 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 money on my mind. So money is all I think of. Money on my mind, 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 money on my mind. So money is all I think of.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to your favorite financial show, Financial State of the Minds. I really just misnamed my name of my show with my guests on here. Keep that in too. Financial State of Minds.
Financial State of Mind.
The podcast where Bookity Blindy himself helps you get to that bag, manage that bag, and grow that bag as best as possible through financial literacy discussions and all things moolah. And today I have another very special guest. He's a friend of mine, a friend of the radio station. Mm-hmm. Also a member of the Anything Can Happen show, the final and best for last. Yes, I said that, sneak dissing. We got Kenya in the booth, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. The best for last.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited about this show today.
And today's, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking self-care and money. Because we all talk about self-care. We're not going to sit here and tell you how important it is. You know. Mm-hmm. You know.
I do know.
How important it is.
Yeah.
I know because I used to conduct therapy. Mm-hmm. But if we ain't got the money for it, if we ain't got the money to buy that $100 massage gun that I was eyeing on Amazon.
Sure.
Or the top of the line, it was a $600 massage gun, top of the line.
Woo!
If you ain't got the money for that, then you can't relax your muscles after they take one of your yoga classes.
You, in fact, can relax your muscles without a $600 massage gun, okay? Let me just say, I have a massage gun, and I can guarantee you that thing didn't cost even anywhere in the realm of $600 because I would rather just feel the pain than spend $600 on a massage gun. I'm not going to do all that.
I just recently got a massage gun because my one I was given as a gift died out on me. So I was looking, and I like how we're just starting with massage guns, by the way. but I actually wanted, this actually makes sense because to this day, I tell people, and I'm sure you know this, massage guns has came down in prices significantly in the last, I would say, 2 to 3 years.
See, I didn't know that because I've had mine for about 2 to 3 years.
So they've came down significantly. So the massage gun, you probably, if you paid $300 for a massage gun.
Did not. Yeah.
So if somebody
right.
paid $300 for a massage gun in 2019, that same massage gun is $100.
Nice.
So massage guns, which is so important to recovery of any type of strenuous exercise, is now obtainable to a lot of people. I just got my brand new one for $50.
Oh, sweet.
Recommended by a CNET themselves.
Oh, nice.
And I love it.
Oh, good. I love mine too. Let me tell you.
I love it. So,
yeah.
We're already talking about it, but one thing that I've learned as a financial coach is how much health from a mental, spiritual, and emotional standpoint affects your ability to make money.
Ooh, you are preaching to the choir, yes.
And that's something I will be brutally honest to the audience. I have, up until about a year or two ago, I've had no experience with. I've not had the luxury to allow my health or mental state of mind stop me from making money.
Yeah.
And to be frank, that's the story of our people. If you really think about it.
Absolutely correct.
That is the story of our people, is we have never had the luxury of letting our mental and emotional health stop us from getting that bag. But what I'm understanding now as a coach, as someone who's been coaching people now for years, thousands of people, is it don't matter how important I tell them. It doesn't matter how much I plan for them and help them goal set and budget. If the person is traumatized, or they too sore, or they not eating right,
Yeah.
they can't work 16 hours a day to be an entrepreneur, or 12 hours a day to do what they love, because they're going from their 9 to 5 to what they do.
Right.
They just can't do it. So that's why I wanted you to bring me on
Yeah.
here. You were to come on
Yeah.
to help me talk about this, because I know more about health than the average person, but I would
Right.
never consider myself an expert.
Sure. Well, that's why you have me here, because I am an expert.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I know you teach yoga.
Yes.
Yoga is something that I got introduced to just last year.
Ooh.
I mean, I can't even say I know the basics.
Yeah.
All I know is, so I go to chiropractic.
Uh-huh.
I have a chiropractor. I'm
Yep.
blessed to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a bad back. I have a bad neck and a bad back.
Yeah. Same.
So I never knew. I've always heard stretching before exercising is important. I never understood why. And I never felt it until about 30.
Well, and I would not necessarily say that. I would say
interesting.
warming up
That's
before
yes.
exercise.
Yes.
And let me just be clear about the myth of stretching, everybody. We don't stretch our muscles. I do want to say that muscles don't actually stretch. We can elongate our muscles, and we can do things to make them more supple. But one of the dangers of getting into too much stretching is that you can really, really injure yourself, or you can even slightly injure yourself. You can cause micro tears. And so it's important to warm up, before you get into anything that we might label as stretching,
Okay, so I just want you to go for the next 45 minutes and just give us the health game, because I didn't even know that. And I literally help people with exercising too and stuff like that. So let's just start back from the top.
Yeah.
Tell the audience who you are, what you do, how, like, just give them the 401. Like,
Okay.
what do you do?
Hey, audience. So my name is Kenya Aissa. My business is Ruby Envy Wellness. You can find me on rubyenvywellness.com. And I am a yoga teacher, and I do some holistic health coaching. I'm also an award-winning makeup artist. And so everything under my umbrella has to do with wellness and making you feel better about yourself, or whatever your version of wellness is. Your version of wellness might just being able to touch your toes, which is very significant. A lot of people can't do that. Or it could be, changing to a plant-based diet, or something along those lines. And so we have to get out of the idea that health and wellness is just for young people, or health and wellness is just for Caucasians, or yoga is just for ABC. All of these things are things that we can utilize for ourselves, because we all want to live, and we all want to not just live, but we want to live well. And we want to live in a way that moving doesn't hurt us. I also have a chiropractor, and that's incredibly important to me. But that is, like you were saying, Darrin, that's not necessarily something that everybody can do or afford, right?
Right.
And so what we should really be doing out there is figuring out all the ways, all of the options that we have at our disposal where we're at now. Right? Because even if you do not have a certain amount of money to get chiropractic every week or whatever, you still deserve to feel good.
Right.
And we still want to feel good. Yes, we have more options available to us if we have a little bit more money. Right? But it's not about necessarily having the money. It's about prioritizing our own wellness.
Yes.
And people of color, Black people, and I can definitely say Black women, have not always been encouraged in this country or in our families to prioritize our health, or to prioritize our just mental and emotional well-being, because we're always taking care of somebody else. right? And we're always prioritizing somebody else, our family, our men, our women, our, our whoever, our parents. And then there's allocating the time.
Right.
So there are a lot of factors involved in figuring out how to take care of ourselves and figuring out what part that money plays in that.
Absolutely. And you need to be in tip-top shape to make the most money. So it circles back around. So I have I used to work in sales, and one of my clients he literally made, I think he made in the year 2020, he was making $750,000 a month.
A month. Good grief.
And we're very close, and he told me something. He said, he was talking to me about when the reach him, whatever, he's very busy. Mm-hmm. He said, the only time you will see my phone on silence is when I exercise. And that really spoke to me. Yeah. This is a guy who earns $750 a month. And the only time he puts his phone on silent, not when he's dinner time, not when he's watching TV, not when he's with his 2-year-old baby or his wife. It was to exercise for 1 hour. Mm-hmm. And that really spoke to me on how important even the top of the top earners take exercising. Mm-hmm. He was actually a 50-something-year-old man doing that. And I'm like, that was my first hint, like, this has got to be important. There's a direct correlation of all your favorite entrepreneurs and exercise. They all do it. Joe Rogan openly. I mean,
well, sure, of course. Yeah,
Joe Rogan does it, but all of them, Mark Zuckerberg does it. Yeah. Elon Musk does it. They all take time out of their insanely busy days to just, even if it's 1 hour.
And yes, but it doesn't have to be 1 hour.
Right, and it doesn't. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. One of the things that I tell my clients is it's not necessarily the length of time, even though, giving it a little bit of time is giving yourself a little bit of time, right? So if you're exercising, whatever exercise that may be, that could just be walking around your block, depending on what feels good for you and what your body is capable of doing that day, right? But it's a mental thing because it's just time for yourself. And so one of the things I tell my clients, I've had clients where I've told them, put your yoga mat on the floor next to your bed. And I'm talking about people who are like, I do not have any time. I don't care if you stay in your bed. Bed yoga. I'm down. You can do crunches in your bed. You can elongate those muscles in your bed. You can do Prasarita Padottanasana in your bed. You can do Baddha Konasana in your bed. Okay? So, but another thing that I've said is throw your yoga mat onto the floor next to your bed. Literally fall out of your bed onto your yoga mat and do 5 minutes of something. And I'm talking about people who may have very serious mobility issues or who have a little weight on their body that they're trying to navigate while they, strengthen their muscles or something like that, right? So it depends on you. It depends on what you're capable of. And some days we're capable of more than we are other days. So like I went to the gym the other day and after I did the ab machine or something like whatever, I was like, I'm done. That was good enough today, because I don't have to be in the gym for an hour. I don't like the gym. I do not love the gym. I'm not a gym rat by any stretch of the imagination. But in order to be strong, which is my thing, I love to be strong. I love my body and I love to be strong. And I'm also in my 50s, right? And I feel like the older we get, the more we have to, understand that we have to keep our muscles toned to a certain extent. And being a strong woman is really important to me. And so, but we all have our individual goals, right? And my gym is $10 a month. I also belong to another gym that I've been at for 20 something years or whatever, it's $14 a month, so that I can afford for that to come out of my bank account every month, $25 or whatever to come out of my bank account every month. But for a lot of people, that might not necessarily be true. You think of $25, $35, $45, $50, and you're like, that could be groceries. Yeah. These gas prices are killing.
Yeah.
That could be I could put that money in my car, And so sometimes you don't have to go to the gym. Sometimes you have to just do what you can do in your house. So
expand on that. So, yeah. One of my friends has coined the phrase balling on a budget. So yes. You're balling on a budget, $10, $20. Maybe it's not even a budget thing. It's a budget and time thing. Yeah. You got to pay $20, $50, $100, whatever it is. And then you got to drive 30 minutes away.
Right.
And you just don't have that time nor money.
Right.
So talk about what people can do at home to exercise and to get that time in, that important time in, if they don't have the budget or they don't have the time.
Oh, 100%. So everybody knows this. Everybody that's watching your show has a phone, right? And so, you don't have to be in the gym. You can go on YouTube and find anything that you want. During the pandemic, I was working out with different fitness professionals on YouTube, and there's a bazillion of them, right? Just like yoga online and on YouTube. There was one, I don't know who this content creator was, but there was somebody who was doing, it was something like a 10-minute pre-bed, right before you go to bed, yoga sequence. And I was like, I can do 10 minutes of yoga, and I'm a yoga teacher, right? But during the pandemic, I was just, there were many times where I was just like, do I want to exercise or do I want to bake another loaf of bread? And so I just wasn't really all that motivated. I was sitting around my house. I was in yoga school for part of that time online too, even though I already had I was already a registered yoga teacher, but I was continuing my education because I'm about to be a 500-hour yoga teacher. And I just wasn't always motivated because the pandemic had a lot of people not motivated. And so if you are watching this or listening to this right now, you can go online and do anything, 5 minutes of anything, 10 minutes of anything. You don't need to have weights. You can grab your jug of milk or some jugs of water or whatever, and you can do a little bit of something. But it isn't, everybody, for the most part, knows that it is not that you don't have the time. It's that in your mind you're thinking, maybe I just don't feel like doing this.
Right.
It's a mental thing. I don't feel like doing this today. And on those days, you have to make a decision. I'm going to put in 15 or 20 minutes. I'm always saying this. Baby steps. I always say that. I don't care what you do. You can do it for 10, 15, 20 minutes. You can do something for 5 minutes. I have a hula hoop, a weighted hula hoop. I was standing in line one time for something. I keep it in the car. I will stand in line outside and hula hoop while I'm waiting in line. And so, it's not necessarily about finances, but I do believe that taking care of yourself, putting some love and energy into your body will affect your mind positively because you're worth it. You're worth that time. You're worth much more than 10, 15, 20 minutes, and that will help you be successful in all aspects of your life.
Yes.
Because if you feel like you're worthy of that time, if that's what you feel like you need, some people are like, I don't really need to exercise. I'm good. That do what you feel is best for you and your body at all times, what makes you comfortable, but understand that time is of the essence. Time is coming to all of us, right? And we want to be as supple and healthy and fluid and movie as we possibly can be as we get older.
Absolutely. For me, I kind of mentioned it earlier. Like, I've been on various diets. For people who don't know, in 2016 I weighed 336 pounds. Today I weigh 250.
Wow.
So I've lost 85 pounds, and the reason I took it so seriously is every single one of my family members has died for health reasons. Every single one of them. So I have glaucoma. So clearly I've learned health is the reason why my family has passed away. Hasn't been violence, hasn't been so tragic stuff. It's just been health. So I got to a point in my life I was just like, okay, the primary thing right now is kidney failure. It's just destroying our community. It's destroyed my dad, now my uncle, his brother has kidney failure, all that stuff. That's what got me to take health even more seriously. So I tried things like the keto diet. That worked for me. Lost 20 pounds. I just shrunk my proportions. That I lost another 20 pounds that way. So I'm actually my 85 pound loss is just it's literally 3 or 4 different diets I tried that worked for me. I'm sure and everybody knows diet works different for every person.
Right.
So not every vegan may not work for you, keto may not work
Absolutely.
for you, low carb might not work for you.
Right.
All that stuff. But I say this all to say is, when I was on keto, that's when I had the most energy I've ever had. I only needed 5 hours of sleep, and my mind was so clear and active that I literally could just wake up and be productive.
Yeah.
And I've always been trying to chase that again. I'm close, but I'm trying to chase that where I can just wake up, and how little time do I need to start being able to be productive?
Sure.
So I tie this back to health and exercising, because it's funny. I'm actually going to try what you said. Put a yoga mat on the side of your bed and just fall off.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get into the habit of stretching or warming up my body as soon as I wake up. Because for the listeners, we all are busy. We're our tired, period, people. But then when you wake up, that's when you really don't want to do anything, right? I've tried everything. Coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. I'm a tea person. Water. The number one thing that wakes me up and gets my body actually alert enough to be productive is warming up my body, usually through stretching, and water. Water or tea, not even coffee.
Right.
I just like the taste of coffee.
Me too.
Anything.
I'm a coffee addict. I love coffee.
I do too. I got like 12 different grounds in my house right now. But tea, I got like 20 different flavors.
Same here.
And what I realize is, it's crazy, all these supplements, all these other things, not saying they don't work, but at least for me, what I'm building the habit of currently right now is I wake up, I put on a podcast to get me going, usually financial or business based, because that's what I am.
Oh, that'll get me going in the morning, y'all.
And that's for me. For you. Everybody else is different. And I stretch. And I really do back stretches, because that's what is the most sore. And I realize the days I start off doing that, I'm far more productive than the days that I don't start off doing that. And it's so crazy how, again, that 30-minute, 20-minute, 15-minute, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, like you said, could be the difference of me being productive for 12 hours or being productive for 8 hours. And it's absolutely amazing. So you're an entrepreneur. You're not just up here because you're some employee.
I have been an employee, and now I am not.
Yes. Same. Same here. So what got you into saying, okay, I'm no longer going to be an employee. I'm going to do this yoga stuff. I'm going to do this makeup stuff. Holistic health, which literally I've never even heard of until this year. What got you to transition from the employee life, the 9-to-5 mentality, to the entrepreneur mentality?
Well, first of all, That's a really good question. And I love when people ask that question because it is definitely not an easy decision to make.
Absolutely.
Right. It really isn't. Because your finances are at risk.
Mm-hmm.
It really, like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Like, it can be very scary to go from your job where you're getting you have your 9 to 5, and that your money is coming every 2 weeks or every month or whatever it is. But years and years ago. So first of all, let me just say, my first entrepreneurship was probably cooking. Me and a friend of mine had a little catering company. We worked at a bar, and we both cook. And so and some of the bar food was not necessarily appropriate for some of the clientele that we would have come in, because it was an upscale billiards club. And then we would just start playing and cooking things, and people wanted more of that. And so I started with that, and that was lovely. And I love cooking, and I love all that stuff.
Of course.
And then years ago, we were just talking about this on my radio show. I decided to become a makeup artist, and I literally just kind of decided that in one day, because I already was like playing with makeup and doing makeup on my friends and practicing, and then a boutique in Oakland needed a makeup artist, an extra makeup artist, because I already had one for a fashion show. Right, they were doing fashion shows on First Fridays in Oakland, and I just literally turned around when I heard them talking about it, and I said, "Hey, I'm a makeup artist." That wasn't actually true, but it became true pretty quickly, because I was good at what I was doing. They hired me over and over again, year after year after year, and so I've been doing entrepreneurial work for 20 years or more, right? And so I did already kind of have that mindset of being able to make money on my own without having an employer. It wasn't a lot of money, it was play money, so to speak,
right.
Side hustle,
right.
Which is here in the Bay Area. Many of us have side hustles because it's expensive here,
Absolutely.
And so, and I had wanted to be a yoga teacher, honestly, for so many years, at least 20 years. I wanted to be a yoga teacher, but it was really expensive. And, you don't get, as African American people, we don't necessarily get a lot of like financial support from our families
right.
for yoga.
Right.
Now if I had wanted to go to med school, all the money would have flown out from the sky from
right.
all my relatives, right? But yoga, that is something that a lot of people are like, that's not really for Black people or whatever,
right.
But I had wanted it for a long time. And finally, I started working at Yoga Kula. Shout out to Yoga Kula in Berkeley. And I started just working the front desk. And then I took the teacher training. So I had things to fall back on. I had being a registered yoga teacher. I know what I'm doing as a yoga teacher. I'm very confident in my skills because it's constant education, right? And as a makeup artist, of course, I won the San Francisco Fashion Award some years ago, and I have been published all over the world. My makeup has been published so I knew that I had some little ways of pulling in a little something, right? Mm-hmm. But the great motivation was the horror of my job. Mm. I do not think I would have survived until the traditional retirement age of 60 or 65. I did not think at the time that I would make it. I really didn't. I genuinely, my health failed several times. My stress was so bad that my hair started falling out. And by falling out, I mean bald spot, where I had a egg, like smooth as an egg, right? Alopecia at the top of my head from stress.
Wow.
And so this is what spurred me into self-care and holistic self-care and empowering myself through all the different things that I did to get my mind right, because my mind was affecting my body. Right. And so I literally created my own things, my own journey that I had to do. And like literally I would write it down. I still have my journals. Like, come home from work, run bubble bath, pour glass of wine, grab romance novel. Like literally, it does not matter what it is, but whatever relaxes you and helps you with your nervous system is a big part of your self-care journey.
Absolutely. It's also true. And your money making ability.
Absolutely.
If you're over here stressed out and you hate what you do, you can't ever give the best customer experience, which I feel is the most important thing about a business.
Right. Well, I did. I mean, I was a social worker, and I love my kids. I love my clients. I absolutely did. The problem was I wasn't sure that I could sustain that. As a matter of fact, I was sure that I could not sustain that. Because if you start a really challenging job when you're younger, okay, you're young, but 20 years in, 30 years in, you can really start to hit the wall because your nervous system is impacted so significantly by stress, by unhappiness, by a lack of self-care, because you're focused on just getting your job done, or putting food on the table, or also too, like 14, 15 years ago, I was trying to get pregnant, and I was having I was not able to get pregnant. I had a lot of inflammation that I wasn't aware of until I did seek a holistic specialist, and I started going to acupuncture, and that strongly impacted my life now as somebody who does holistic health coaching, because that 6 weeks into acupuncture, I was pregnant, and I had been trying to get pregnant for 6 years. But it was a serious dietary change. My acupuncturist was like, no meat, no dairy, no sugar, nothing that turns into sugar, no rice, no this, no apples, no orange juice. Now, I was like, what I'm eating, air? Like, really? Like, what is happening? Is it going to be gluten-free toast with some air on it? Like, I did not know what I was supposed to be doing here, but, I figured it out, and that worked for me, and so that is when it came time I realized when my child was about 3 that I would not be able to keep up my career. I realized that. I talked to my mom and my aunt about it when we were on vacation one time, and they were like, don't quit that job. Oh my God, don't quit that job. And I said, people die at this job, and some of these people are dying from stress.
Hold on to that.
Yeah.
Let me reset the audience and remind them what they're listening to at KGPC 96.9. We are listening to the beautiful, the wonderful Kenya. I have her on my show, Financial State of Minds, the show where I help people get to that bag, manage that bag, and grow that bag as best as possible through financial literacy and all things moolah, with a plus now, health, self-care. That stress.
Yeah.
Again, I came from the mental health world. I have 5 mental disorders diagnosed. You don't got to be 50 to drop dead from stress. You ain't got to be 40.
Sure don't.
You ain't got to be 30. My close friend had a stroke at 25 years old.
Ooh, yeah.
I know multiple people who have had full-blown strokes.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my sister-in-law, a year younger than me, she told me she had an anxiety attack at work because of how stressful work is.
Oh yeah.
So
I know that
this
for
is
sure.
And I feel because of our society now, especially California, it's such a fast go, get your work done, all this stuff.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, and it's happening to everybody much younger.
Yeah.
Much younger. I have, for my case, I have glaucoma. I'm 32.
Yeah.
Glaucoma is a old person's disease, quote unquote, traditionally.
Right.
It's an old person's disease. They don't even look for it until you're about 50 something.
Right.
They don't even look for it.
Yeah.
So that's what, and for me, I like a lot of people, regardless of culture, you're taught that when you're young, nothing's gonna happen to you. Oh, get it, drink all you want, smoke all you want, eat all the most unhealthy food you want when you're young.
Yeah.
Get it out of your way now, or it's not gonna be as bad when you're young.
Right.
And what I feel our generation is learning is no, you can eat unhealthy for 20 years, and by the time you're 21, you have diabetes.
Absolutely.
Like, I know 30-year-olds with diabetes.
Oh, sure.
Like, I know 30-year-olds with failed failed kidneys.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so that's another reason why I push entrepreneurship. You just spoke it. It's because it's not always about the money. This is what I find with people. They don't get as stressed out working 12 hours a day on their business, on something they love to do, compared to 12 hours a day on something that isn't theirs. So because it isn't theirs, they can't care about it as much. They tend not, the average person doesn't even believe in what they do. And they're overworked.
Yeah.
And
well, a lot of people do love their jobs. I don't want to give.
And a lot of people do.
A lot of people do love their jobs, and that's a wonderful thing. But you're right in that even though entrepreneurship has its stressors, it's a different kind of stress.
Yes.
It really is. But also it I was first of all, I retired. Okay, so I retired from my job. I left with some retirement money, so I didn't just quit my job and I'm just out there flailing in the wind.
Right.
Okay, I did wait until I was legally able to retire. Now, I could not live off of just my retirement living here in Northern California.
Right.
And so I have to I have to work doing yoga and stuff, but I love it. One of the things I learned a long time ago from one of my instructors, she used to always say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Right. So that's true. And it's also not true. Work doesn't have to be bad. You can love what you do and work hard and be satisfied with the work that you're putting out there.
Absolutely.
and what you are doing and who you are doing it for, and who you're helping and all of that stuff. And so that's why I'm motivated, because I love what I do. I love working with people on their bodies. I love, helping people relieve pain, especially older people, women of color. I love to serve people who are either historically underserved or who historically underserve themselves.
Yeah.
Because, feeling like we're at the bottom of our own priorities list, right? And so I think it's just if we want to live out our lives to the best of our ability, obviously there are lots of things we cannot control, but for that we can control, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I need to have this Lululemon yoga outfit, blah, blah, blah. I teach a 6:30 a.m. class every Tuesday, y'all. If anybody wants to just hit me up on Zoom. And you can just roll up to your own computer in your jammies. I always say hashtag come in your jammies. I always say that. Hashtag come in your jammies. Because I don't care what you look like. And you don't care what I look like. If I roll out of bed and I'm wearing pajama bottoms and a tank top and teaching my class, so be it. I'm doing it. We're doing it together. And it's not about, your yoga outfit. or
Right.
anything. All of that is so irrelevant. You know, it's just so irrelevant. If you don't want to be seen, turn your camera off and just move. Nobody cares anyway. Come in your bonnet, okay? Like, nobody cares. But the priority is moving your body in a way that works for you, supports you, and supports your mental health.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, really important, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It shouldn't be. It should be something that is enjoyable.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be super time consuming like we've already discussed. Like
Sure.
there's just days where it's just like, okay, I got 20 minutes. This is what I'm going to do.
Absolutely. That's why I did my classes from 6:30 to 7 on Tuesday mornings, because I said anybody can do anything for 30 minutes, you know, before you go to work or whatever, or come and stay for 10 minutes. You know, it doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
know, and so I just think that it's important to know that you can do it. If you're thinking about it, then you can do it. Then you're capable of doing it. And then you just have to do what you can do and what's available to your body on any given day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one thing I talk about too is exercising for me. What got me to stay consistent, what got me to go 85 pounds lost and has stayed down. I've only fluctuated from like 85 to 90 pounds lost. It's therapeutic for me. Like, as someone, I'm comfortable and I still can't get regular access to therapy for all the trauma I have.
Yeah.
So when I'm on my treadmill or I'm lifting those weights, that's where the therapy happens. That's the number one reason I exercise. It is not even because I lose weight. People always tell me, like my boys always hit me up, Darrin, why don't you lift them weights? I have to lift them weights. Why aren't you doing like 200? I'm like, because I don't find that therapeutic. Like, the treadmill where I can have my headphones on on blast and listening to the music, and I go crazy. Sometimes I'll listen to rap, I'll jump in the rock, I'll play a little bit of hip hop influenced gospel to this. I'm over here talking to God as I'm jogging.
Sure.
Like, it can be a very therapeutic process, and that's why I always, even though I'm not even not knowledgeable in yoga is something that could be extremely therapeutic
100%
for the person who's practicing it. Like, I know so many people, they meditate through yoga.
Sure.
And I'm a big person who meditates, and that's really when I understood yoga is more than just beyond an exercise.
100%. Well, you know, asanas are they're called asanas. They're poses. It's definitely, you know, historically, you know, yoga originated in India, and, you know, when you listen to, hear, read about the history behind yoga, it is so much deeper than the poses. The poses are designed to bring you into yourself, and to help you connect your breath to your body, to your mind, right? And so that's what it's for. It's of course, we have things like power yoga and things like that. Yoga will help you be more powerful whether or not you are uncomfortable. You know, you don't have to be hurting yourself or whatever. You know, shout out to power yoga. I don't care, but that's just not that's not my thing.
Right. That's
you
not
know,
your lane.
I want to feel strong. I don't want to feel. I mean, I've been in yoga classes before where I just was like, oh, this is just so hard. You know, there's a difference between challenging and painful.
Right.
You know, like I don't come to my class and do something that's going to make you feel horrible. You know, lay on your back. That's a yoga pose too. Okay. Lay on your back. That's Shavasana. If you are in a position where you're like, woo, that last pose really took me out, lay down. Just lay down. Stop. You know, you're not there to impress anybody.
Right.
You're there to feel good. You know, and guess what feels good? Laying down.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
for all the people who, I actually know some people who legitimately want to be yoga instructors. So
Yeah.
talk specifically about how you started doing yoga. Like, what was the starting point? Where did you see like some progress, and where are you at today?
Yeah. Well, I started, I always kind of dabbled in yoga. You know, I'm from the Bay Area. You know, I dabbled a little bit, but not too much because I don't think I really understood it that much. But I did know or had heard throughout my life that there was something good for you,
Right.
you know. And when I was a trauma counselor working with adolescent girls, teenage girls, and young women, 25 years or whatever ago it was, it was 20 years ago, I think. I had a spirituality group where I was working with my girls who had all been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. And I found that the traditional methods of treatment were not working. They were not facilitating healing or putting them on the healing journey as much as I wanted it to. You know, and so I started doing a lot of research, and my book, I wrote a book based on this particular group called Sacred Girl. You can find it on Amazon. And one of the things that I did with my group was yoga. I wasn't a yoga teacher. I pulled the Rodney Yee video out, and it was like a VHS, y'all. This is way on back. And I would pop that in, and we would do yoga right there at the job in the living room, right? And so I felt so good about that years later, when I got the opportunity at Yoga Kula, I took it. You know, I really did. And it's so important if you want to teach yoga to go to a place where you are learning how to help people, how to not to hurt people, so that you know what you are doing and get the proper education and the proper support. And that's so important. And that's still my support group. That's still my yoga home. That's my support space, because the owner, Saraswati Claire, is my teacher and the owner of the studio. She is magnificent. You know, very supportive, incredibly knowledgeable, and you want somebody like that if you are going to dedicate yourself to helping people in that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You want to be confident about it. You know?
Absolutely. If you're going to be teaching, there's like three, we're a part of it, but there's three industries where you really want to know and you need to know what you're talking about. Anything to do with health.
Yes.
Anything to do with finances.
Yes.
Anything to do with law.
Oh, yes. For sure.
We actually have the strictest. We're the only ones who really just can't freely tell people what to do. Like, we really have, like, we're the only ones who need to get the certifications.
Yeah.
We need to get the degrees to even talk about what we talk about a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because if not, then we get in trouble because,
Sure.
again, money, health, and I'll even throw in law, because I know that fairly well.
Yeah.
You're really affecting people's lives.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So this is something that if you're interested in, don't take it lightly. Don't come off as a pretender. It's okay not to know everything.
Absolutely, because you're not going to know everything.
You're not going to.
You're just not. But you have to be able to. You have to be comfortable with accepting that,
right?
And then continuing to your education. That's one of the things I love about yoga is you never know everything. It doesn't matter how long you've been practicing, how long you've been teaching. There's so much to know,
right?
And that's why it's impossible for me to stop the journey of continuing education, because it's just so fun to learn more, you know, and especially about people's bodies. Like when I did my first teacher training, I was like, am I in medical school? Like, what is happening here? Like, I avoided this like the plague all through college and grad school and high school and everything. But now I'm learning all about muscles that I'd never heard of, learning about nerves, like the vagus nerve. I'd never heard of that in my life. My mother is a biologist, and she was like, what? You know, right. So, I mean, it's just a really cool, and that's for anything that you do. And so I'm not just talking about yoga or entrepreneurship. I'm talking about anything where you want to be a force, a positive force for other people's health and wellness, or for other people's change, or transformation in any way, shape, or form. Mind, body, spirit, all three, one of them. Learning and embracing education, and being humble enough to say, I could still be better.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right about that. Like,
Yeah.
always have the approach that you don't know everything. Always have the approach that, and really the desire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and this leads me to the question, you're a coach, I'm a coach.
Mm-hmm.
What's the number one excuse you hear? Whether it's a legitimate or in your mind legitimate or not. Mm-hmm. Like, if you were to sit here and say, this is what I hear people say on why they don't start. We all know starting is the most difficult. Let's talk about how can we get people started in yoga? How can we get people started in exercising? How can we get people started in whatever they want to do?
Yeah.
Like, what do you tell yourself and what do you tell other people?
Yeah.
How do I start?
Yeah. So the key is just to start. Okay. So first of all, for clients, I have to know what we're working with here, right? Is there a health problem that you have discussed with your doctor and that you need to address medically? I am not a doctor, so that is not my field. But whatever your doctor is saying that, is an issue, or that you're feeling is an issue, it's up to you and possibly your medical practitioner to decide what path you want to take. So that's kind of number one. And so, like, for me, being somebody who helps people when it comes to food and stuff like that, I do plant-based stuff, plant-based nutrition, and movement. I've been a dancer my entire life, and now I'm a yoga teacher as well. So movement has always been my thing, And so what's really important is finding out what people themselves say to you. Listen to your client and support your client in their journey.
Right.
Not your journey, in their journey. And so the journey has to be up to them, right? Mm-hmm. They have to feel supported and not judged. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I personally, I'm going to speak for myself, I hate to be judged. It just feels bad. And then I don't want you in my life. I don't want you being like, girl, you could, listen, I love my husband, everybody. I really do. But I worked out with him one time, and this was before we were married, and it has never repeated itself, okay? Because it was awful. And my husband is really into fitness, and he works out, and he's got muscles, and he's all this, that, and the other. But we went to work out together, and he's like, lift your knees, do this. Oh, no, bro, we are never doing this again, ever, okay? We just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary last weekend. We've been together for 27 years. We have worked out together that one time, and I am never doing it again because I want to feel good. If I want a fitness coach or whatever, I'm gonna go to a fitness coach. I'm going to go to Cat or, something like that. And so it's important to meet people where they are. Yes. And that includes yourself. Don't judge yourself. And especially women out there, do not judge your body. This society has done that enough. And so don't judge yourself, your body, your skill level, it doesn't matter where you're at. Do something and celebrate that. I have a client, I told her, do 5 minutes of this, do 5 minutes of yoga, whatever it was I told her. and then cheer yourself on like you just ran the New York Marathon. Okay? Because you could have not. You could have not moved a muscle. You could have pulled up the Netflix and a carton of ice cream, or whatever. Nothing wrong with Netflix or ice cream. Okay? But if that is not in alignment with your health goals, right? And I don't consider myself like a fitness person. So I always talk about health, if that's not in alignment with your health goals, then make a change. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be a small change, and those small changes can turn into bigger changes, right? Starting small, and then also connecting this back to finances. Look at what you are financially capable of. If you are capable of just buying some handheld weights and bringing them into your house, you can do weightlifting, you can do crunches, you can hold those, you can do all kinds of things. You can buy a yoga mat, okay? When my custom yoga mats come out, I'll make sure everybody knows about it. And I'll get anybody that's listening, you'll all get a discount, okay? But just sometimes for me, it just feels good to lay on my yoga mat. It makes me want to be healthy. It makes me want to feel healthier, And so I really think that's it. Like, accept and love yourself, and you will go from there.
And that is it. And that's a perfect place to end it. Unfortunately, Lord, I wish we can have like 2-3 hour segments.
Seriously.
But before I wrap this up, go ahead, plug it in. Plug yourself in.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at RubyEnvy, right? That's my Instagram, at RubyEnvy, RubyEnvy. And my website is rubyenvywellness.com. If you find me on this show, if you tell me, if you reference this show, you get a discount on any of my classes or services.
Absolutely. Go ahead and just make official discount code at Financial State of Mind. That's the official discount code.
Nice.
Also my Instagram. So
nice.
Go ahead and you guys can DM me. You guys go to her page, DM her. But we have to wrap this up. The producer is already like, get the heck out of here, you guys. But where have you been listening to? You've been listening to Financial State of Mind, the show where I help you get to that bag, manage that bag, and grow that bag as best as possible through financial literacy. All things move up in health and wealth, because we all know health is wealth. Mm-hmm. You've been here. Thank you so much, Tina, for
my pleasure
joining me. And we're gonna probably have to have you back on, because
I would love that.
This is just so important. But without further ado, we are out of here. We both gotta go. We both gotta get our health on. We both gotta get our wealth on. Peace, kings and queens. We's out.
So money is all I think of. Money on my mind, money